I mean, like I said, there are certain things taken out, and like I said, you click on that link in the playlist, in the description boxes, and you'll see what I'm talking about, but wow, you know. And this is, and honestly, when I first found out about it, it's when it really got me into the show, and I did my best, because I was working at the time, but I did my best to keep up with the show. I did my best to watch all the episodes, record the episodes, and as pretty much as you could tell, I did my best to collect the card game. I mean, heck, when I was working at Walmart, well actually before I was working at Walmart, it was around that time frame, I bought this. I spent money and I bought myself a dual disc. Which, believe it or not, still fits. Just barely, but it fits. And if you don't believe me, look at Linkara. He's got the same stuff. But I bought myself a dual disc which enabled me to basically, you know, kind of make it feel like I was part of the show, or just have it for collector items. And I've had it for years now. I've had this disc for years. And actually, believe it or not, I have competed in some friendly duels. I have. I've competed in some friendly duels. As a matter of fact, one of the first ones I competed against was against my store manager at Burger King, and I had to put a card up on the line. And the card I had to put on the line was a card that he needed, and that was Dust Tornado. Yeah. So I had to do that. But that's the impact this show had on me. I mean, heck, 3 years after it debuted, I went on opening weekend and I went to go see the movie in the theaters. I went to go see Pyramid of Light in theaters. And I enjoyed it. I really did. And if that's not something, like I said, I keep recording all the episodes the best I can. I even, when I was working at Hastings, well, the Hastings was kind of like across from me, but when I was working with them and even not working with them, they were selling uncut. I'm not lying, they were selling the uncut Funimation releases of Yu-Gi-Oh! The way it was meant to be dubbed in English. You know, PG rated and all that. So, I bought those, but unfortunately I had to sell them back because I needed money. Mistake on my part. Anyway, the point is, that's how big of an impact this show had on me. And you know what? I was only 22 years of age at that time. And when you take a look at me now, I'm going to be 34 this year. I still enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! More importantly, I enjoy the regular version, the original, over sometimes GX and Zelks and 5Ds. The only thing I enjoyed about 5Ds and GX is when they did Bonds Beyond Time. That's the only thing I liked about it. Because yes, it was a wrap, it was a finale for 5Ds, and yes, it did celebrate the 10-year anniversary, but still, to me, I'm always going to favor the original over all the other spin-offs. I really am. And I'm not trying to be mean about that. It's just my personal preference. I mean, you take a look at the cards they gave you. One of my favorites is right here. This here, ladies and gentlemen, is a card everybody's been asking me for, and you know what? They ain't getting. They ain't getting, and that's Magician's Valkyria. This card debuted in the movie and came back in GX. I'll give him that. But the card I wanted the most, if I can get it out, because I knew eventually with my Yu-Gi-Oh! Starter kit, I got Dark Magician, but the one I wanted most after that was Dark Magician Girl. And you know what? I don't just have Dark Magician Girl now. I have 2 Dark Magician Girls. As well as in one of my albums, I have Toon Dark Magician Girl. And that's saying something. And if you want, you know, and you'll probably say to yourself, well, what about the Seto set? Seto? How about not one, not two, but 4 blue eyes white dragons? How about a Saiba harpy? You know? Like I said, that's 1 blue eye, 2 blue eyes, 3 Spanish version, which I'll probably not be able to use, and 4 blue eyes white dragons, and maybe even an extra one that I have in one of the albums. But again, that's the impact Yu-Gi-Oh! As an anime had on me, and as a franchise. I mean, to me, it was the only game, it was the only anime franchise that borderline being for kids and being for teens and adults. Because when you look at the manga, and you look at the ratings on the mangas, especially the very first volumes and all that, they have a T rating. When you take a look at the rating, when they brought out the uncut English dubs, it's a TV PG rating. It gives you an idea that this franchise is meant for older adults, for an older audience. But the reason they subtracted it down for the TVY7 audience was so that they could sell stuff like the dual disc. They could sell the cards. But here's the thing that I'm pretty sure they never ever figured out. And that was, this was going to basically be more of a bestseller, not for the kids that were 7 of age, but for the older audience. And I think that's what surprised them. But again, to me, you know, I enjoyed Yu-Gi-Oh! I really did. And yes, there are some things they should have capitalized on. And when you watch the original Japanese versions of those episodes, you kind of get an idea that had they allowed that to stay in the English dubs, it would have worked out. People would have a better understanding, even though they pretty much already knew. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't do something like that without pretty much already knowing what's going on. So, to me, I really liked it. I really liked the fact that they gave Yugi and the Pharaoh sort of a rival, a friendly rival in Seto Kaiba. I really liked that. I really liked the fact that Seto was the best duelist, got ousted by Yugi, but then became the second best duelist, but sort of like, you know, he could beat Yugi anytime just like that if he comes up with the best plan. So basically, you're looking, if you wanted to look at like the top duelists in that show, like a top 5, you'd have Yugi at number 1, of course, Seto, Joey, Mai, and believe it or not, Rebecca. Those would be your top 5 right there. No doubt whatsoever. So, my point is, in conclusion, I really liked Yu-Gi-Oh! I know, Brad, obviously you did as well, and maybe other people did, but my thing is, if it wasn't for the anime, I probably wouldn't have known about the card game, and when I looked more into it, it gave me the notion and the idea that this was definitely intended for an older audience, and I don't think there's any debating that. So, that's all I'm going to say for now. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you later. Sorry this was in 2 parts, but hey, I got a 15-minute time limit on this main channel. What are you going to do?